Coming live from the studio, this is All Sports with Gerardo. Thank you for watching another episode of All Sports. This is your host Gerardo, and all I talk is sports. On the show today, I am going to talk about NFL football, Major League Baseball, NBA basketball, and college football. Before I start the show, I hope you all had a great week. To start off in Major League Baseball, the Rays traded Blake Snell to the Padres. The Cubs traded Yu Darvish to the Padres. The Pirates traded Josh Bell to the Nationals. Now that it's winter, free agency has begun, and we're going to have to wait and see what happens this winter in regards to free agency. Right now, the Padres are the team to watch during free agency. They are the team that is making many moves right now to improve their team, regardless of what position it is. And they have already added many key players, and this is probably not the end for the Padres. So the Padres is definitely a team to keep an eye on, because they definitely want to improve their team this offseason. And the Padres is definitely going to be a team you're going to want to watch out for in the 2021 season. They want to be competition to the Dodgers in the National League West, but they also want to be competition in the National League. Make it into the playoffs and have a chance of coming out of the National League, reaching the World Series, and potentially winning the World Series. And they may do that one of these years, and we're going to have to wait and see what the Padres do this offseason and how the Padres will play in the 2021 season and going into the future. But this is only the beginning for the Padres, and there's no doubt that they're going to be a serious World Series contender this season and going into the future with the players they have already added. And they're already a good team from the way they played in 2020, and they should even be a better team in 2021. But with the way the Padres have improved their team this offseason, I would expect them to be a better team, and they have a lot of potential going into the future. And there's no doubt that if they continue improving their team, even though they have a good team as of right now, they will be a serious World Series contender and be a contender to the Dodgers and to some of the other teams in the National League that are trying to make it into the playoffs and be World Series contenders. So the Padres is definitely a team you want to keep your eye on this offseason during free agency. On Sunday, December 27, Hall of Famer Phil Niekro passed away. He was 81 years old. Moving on now to NFL football, Drew Brees has now thrown 80,000 career passing yards. Tom Brady has 17 straight seasons with 10-plus wins. Tom Brady won his fourth career game after trailing by 17-plus points at halftime, which is the most by any quarterback in the Super Bowl era. Tom Brady has the most touchdown passes in a single season in Buccaneers history. Cam Newton joins Earl Campbell as the only number one overall picks in NFL history to have 70-plus career rushing touchdowns. Justin Herbert has surpassed Baker Mayfield for the most touchdown passes. Cam Newton joins Earl Campbell as the only number one overall picks in NFL history to have 70-plus career rushing touchdowns. Justin Herbert has surpassed Baker Mayfield for the most touchdown passes in NFL history by a rookie. Justin Herbert is the fourth rookie in NFL history with 4,000 passing yards. Larry Fitzgerald has tied Hall of Famer Jerry Rice for the most seasons in NFL history with at least 50 receptions. Travis Kelce has surpassed George Kittle for the most receiving yards in NFL history by a tight end in a single season. Travis Kelce is the only tight end in NFL history with multiple 100-plus catch seasons. Travis Kelce is the first tight end in NFL history with 5 1,000-yard seasons. Davante Adams is the third player in NFL history with 16-plus touchdowns and 100-plus catches in a season. Stephon Diggs leads the NFL in catches and in receiving yards this season. Stephon Diggs broke the franchise record for the most catches in a single season in Bills history. Justin Jefferson is the fourth rookie with 1,200 receiving yards in the Super Bowl era. Alvin Kamara is the only player in NFL history with 500 plus receiving and 500 plus rushing yards in each of his first 4 seasons. Alvin Kamara tied the NFL record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single game. Aaron Donald joined DeMarcus Ware, Reggie White, and Derek Thomas for the most sacks in their first 7 seasons. TJ Watt is the third player in the last 25 seasons to have 3 straight seasons with 13 plus sacks. The Chiefs won the AFC West, and they will have home field advantage throughout the playoffs in the AFC. The Buccaneers clinched a playoff berth for the first time since 2007. The Saints won the NFC South for the 4th consecutive season. The Seahawks won the NFC West. The Steelers won the AFC North. The Jaguars will have the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. We will have to wait and see who the Jaguars draft with the first overall pick, but there is a great chance they will draft quarterback Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. And Trevor Lawrence is the top prospect going in to the 2021 NFL Draft. There's no doubt that Trevor Lawrence is a franchise quarterback for whatever team drafts him, and the Jaguars are in need of a franchise quarterback for the future. So is Trevor Lawrence the answer? We're going to have to wait and see, and we'll have to wait and see who the Jaguars draft, but it's very likely they will draft quarterback Trevor Lawrence because they do need a quarterback, and they definitely need to improve their team for 2021 and going into the future, and it will start with Trevor Lawrence. Kicker Robbie Gard and the 49ers have agreed to a 2-year contract extension. Washington released Dwayne Haskins. The 2020 season is the first season in NFL history a game has been played on all 7 days of the week in one regular season. Now the reason for that is because of COVID-19. And with games having to be delayed or postponed, that is the reason why the NFL has had to play on all 7 days of the week. Regardless if it's COVID-19 related or not, the 2020 season has definitely made NFL history, especially with everything in regards to COVID-19. Justin Simmons was named a Pro Bowler. Bradley Chubb was named a Pro Bowl starter. Both for Justin Simmons and Bradley Chubb, it will be their first career Pro Bowl selection. So congratulations to Justin Simmons and Bradley Chubb from the Broncos on being selected, the 2 Pro Bowlers from the Broncos. The Broncos lost to the Chargers 19-16 in Los Angeles on Sunday, December 27th. The Broncos go against the Raiders in Denver on Sunday, January 3rd. The Broncos-Raiders game will be the final game of the 2020 regular season for the Broncos. Unfortunately, the Broncos will not make the playoffs, but hopefully this offseason the Broncos will improve the team so they can be a better team in 2021 and hopefully make the playoffs. Now the number one question for the Broncos going into the offseason and in the final game of the regular season is Drew Lock, the franchise quarterback. We're going to have to wait and see how he plays in this Raiders game, and we'll have to wait and see what the Broncos do this offseason, especially with the quarterback situation. There is a chance Drew Lock will be back for the 2021 season and have one more chance. And Drew Lock will get another opportunity to show why he isn't the franchise quarterback for the Broncos going into the future. The Broncos also announced that head coach Vic Fangio is safe and he will be back for the 2021 season. So as of right now, Vic Fangio, Drew Lock will get one more chance in the 2021 season to show if they are the future. And if they're not, the Broncos are going to move on to a different head coach and to a different quarterback. But with COVID-19 taking place in 2020 and how it affected the 2020 season, both Vic Fangio and Drew Lock will get one more chance because of that situation. This is the 17th week of NFL football. So right now I'm going to update you the Week 16 NFL football final scores. I'm also going to tell you the Week 17 NFL football schedule and the games to keep an eye on this week in NFL football. So to start off, here are the Week 16 final scores and highlights from this week of NFL football. The Saints beat the Vikings 52-33 on Christmas. The 49ers beat the Cardinals 20-12. The Dolphins beat the Raiders 26-25. The Steelers beat the Colts 28-24. The Chiefs beat the Falcons 17-14. The Bengals beat the Texans 37-31. The Jets beat the Browns 23-16. The Panthers beat Washington 20-13. The Chargers beat the Broncos 19-16. The Cowboys beat the Eagles 37-17. The Seahawks beat the Rams 20-9. The Packers beat the Titans 40-14 on Sunday Night Football, and the Bills beat the Patriots 38-9 on Monday Night Football. Now taking a look at Week 17, here are the matchups to keep an eye on this week in NFL football. The Falcons versus the Buccaneers, the Cowboys versus the Giants, the Vikings versus the Lions, the Steelers versus the Browns, the Dolphins versus the Bills, the Seahawks versus the 49ers, the Cardinals versus the Rams, the Titans versus the Texans, the Raiders versus the Broncos, the Chargers versus the Chiefs, the Packers versus the Bears, and Washington versus the Eagles on Sunday Night Football. So that's the Week 16 final scores and the Week 17 schedule for NFL football. So right now I'm going to update you with the current division standings in the AFC and NFC. So if we take a look at the playoff picture for the AFC and NFC, 14 teams will make the playoffs for the 2020 season. 7 teams from the AFC and 7 teams from the NFC. The 2 new changes for the playoffs this season is that only the number 1 seed gets a bye week. Before, both the number 1 and 2 seed would get a bye week. Now it's only the number 1 seed. Also, there are 3 wild card teams in both the AFC and NFC. So if we take a look at this playoff picture as of right now, going into the final week of the regular season, this is what the current playoff picture looks like as of right now. To start off in the AFC, the Chiefs have the number 1 seed. They have won the AFC West, and they also have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, and they will also get a bye week. The Bills are in the number 2 seed. The Steelers are in the number 3 seed. The Titans are in the number 4 seed. The Dolphins are in the number 5 seed. The Ravens are in the number 6 seed. And the Browns are in the number 7 seed. Now, for the AFC, we're going to have to wait and see what teams get what seed for the playoffs. We're also going to have to wait and see what 3 teams will get the 3 wildcard spots. A team that's still in the hunt in the AFC includes the Colts. So, there are 4 teams fighting for 3 wildcard spots, and only 3 teams will make it. Unfortunately for one team, they will not make the playoffs. We're going to have to wait and see who are the 3 wildcard teams in the AFC. We're also going to have to wait and see what teams get what seed in the AFC. In the NFC, the Packers are the number 1 seed. The Saints are in the number 2 seed. The Seahawks are in the number 3 seed. Washington's the number 4 seed. The Buccaneers are the number 5 seed. The Rams are the number 6 seed. And the Bears are the number 7 seed. Now for the NFC, we're going to have to wait and see what teams get what seed. We're also going to have to wait and see what teams win their division. Also, what 3 teams are going to be the 3 wildcard teams in the NFC. Some teams still in the hunt for a playoff spot includes the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and the Giants. Also, the $1,000,000 question, what team is going to win the NFC East? Except for the Eagles, every team has a chance to win that division. If Washington wins their game, they win the NFC East. But if Washington loses, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what team gets the division. It will come down to the Cowboys or the Giants, depending on who wins that game. All Washington has to do is win their game, they're in. But if Washington loses, if the Cowboys win or the Giants win, they get the division. So except for the Eagles, everybody else still has a chance. And believe it or not, the Cowboys still have a chance to get into the playoffs. And they're in the same situation as last year and in many previous seasons. So we'll have to wait and see if the Cowboys can make the playoffs. But believe it or not, they have a chance. They've had many chances this season, just like last season, just like the previous seasons. So we'll have to wait to see if the Cowboys can get in the playoffs. But one of these teams will get in. It will be Washington, the Cowboys, or the Giants. It's going to come down to who wins. And whoever loses will not make it into the playoffs. But for the NFC, we're just going to have to wait and see what teams get what seed. And also, what team wins the NFC East. And who are going to be the wild card teams. And unfortunately for one of the wild card teams, since there's only 3 spots and 4 teams competing for the wild card spots, just like the AFC, one of those teams will not make it into the playoffs. So that is the current playoff picture for both the AFC and NFC as of right now, going into the last week of the regular season. The playoffs are getting ready to begin, and the start of the playoffs is just around the corner. We are at the end of December. We're going into 2021. We're saying goodbye to 2020. And now that we're going in January, the playoffs are getting ready to begin. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what teams make it into the playoffs in both the AFC and NFC. What teams happen to not make the playoffs. We'll also have to wait and see what seed each team gets in the playoffs in both the AFC and NFC. We'll have to wait and see how far certain teams advance into the playoffs. But also, what 2 teams will make it to Super Bowl 55 and what team will win Super Bowl 55? That's the $1,000,000 question, and we're just going to have to wait and see. But it's a great time of year right now. The regular season's getting ready to end, and the playoffs are getting ready to begin. So that's the current division standings in the AFC and NFC. In the Week 17 NFL Power Rankings, the current top 10 NFL football teams are the Chiefs, Packers, Bills, Saints, Steelers, Ravens, Seahawks, Buccaneers, Titans, and the Browns. Moving on now to NBA basketball, LeBron James was named the 2020 AP Male Athlete of the Year. Doc Rivers moved into 10th on the all-time coaching wins list. Eric Spoelstra now has a 8-0 record on Christmas, and he has the most wins on Christmas among active coaches. LeBron James moved into 2nd in the all-time scoring list for Christmas. Kyrie Irving tied the NBA Christmas record for the most three-pointers made on Christmas. Duncan Robinson tied the NBA Christmas record for the most three-pointers made on Christmas. Nikola Jokic moved into 9th in all-time triple-doubles. Steph Curry joined Ray Allen and Reggie Miller as the only players in NBA history to reach 2,500 career made three-pointers. Russell Westbrook is the first player since Magic Johnson in 1982 to post triple-doubles in his team's first 2 games of the regular season. James Harden has the most 40-plus point double-doubles since 1976-1977. Ja Morant joined Shaquille O'Neal as the youngest players in NBA history with 40-plus points in a season opener. The Bucks made an NBA record of 29 three-pointers in the Bucks Heat game, and the Bucks also beat the Heat by 47 points. Nikola Jokic had a career-high 18 assists in the Nuggets-Rockets game, and he is the first center to record 18-plus assists in a game since Will Chamberlain's 19 assists in 1968. Nikola Jokic passed Fat Lever for the most career triple-doubles in Nuggets history. Jamal Murray passed Will Barton III for third on the Nuggets all-time three-pointers made list. On Friday, December 25th, Celtics legend K.C. Jones passed away. He was 88 years old. The 2020-2021 NBA season began last week, so it's a great time of year now that the new NBA season has begun. And the 2020-2021 season is underway as of right now that we are heading to the end of 2020 and going into 2021. So it's a great year as of right now since the new NBA season has begun within the last week, just before Christmas. The Nuggets' first game of the season was against the Kings in Denver at the Ball Arena on Wednesday, December 23rd. The Nuggets went against the Clippers on Christmas. It was great to see that the 2020-2021 season was able to begin last week and right before Christmas, and it was great to see NBA games on Christmas Day. And it was great to see the Nuggets play on Christmas for a second year in a row here in Denver. But unfortunately, the Nuggets have not been able to win on Christmas this season and last season. But it was still great to see the Nuggets play on Christmas. And it was great to see the rest of the Christmas games. And it was great to see the 2020-2021 season begin before Christmas and still have games on Christmas. Despite everything that has happened in 2020 and how COVID-19 has affected the NBA and how it affected last season and even this season. So it's just great to see that the new NBA season is underway as of right now. Moving on now to college football. Colorado lost to number 20 Texas 55-23 in the Alamo Bowl. Carl Durrell was named the Pac-12 Coach of the Year. So it's a great time of year for college football right now. Now that we are in the end of 2020 and going into the beginning of 2021, it's a great time of year for college football. All the college football bowl games are underway as of right now. And going into New Year's, all of the great college football games happen within the next few days, especially on New Year's Day. So it's a great time of year for college football since we have all the college football bowl games taking place as of right now, and we have all the great college football bowl games going into the end of the year and going into the start of the new year, especially with all the great college football bowl games that happen on New Year's Day. And within the next few weeks, we will have the College Football Playoff National Championship game. We will have to wait and see what two teams go against each other in the College Football Playoff National Championship game and what team lands up winning the College Football Playoff National Championship game. But as of right now, the bowl games are underway, and in the next few weeks, we will have the College Football Playoff National Championship game, and I can't wait to see what team wins the College Football National Championship game for this season. But it's just a great time of year for college football with all the great bowl games and with the College Football National Championship game happening in the next few weeks. Moving on now to the show, what to watch for this week in sports. The Broncos go against the Raiders in Denver on Sunday, January 3rd. The Broncos, NFL football, the Nuggets, NBA basketball, the college football bowl games, college football, college basketball. Moving on now, on the next show, I will talk about NFL football, Major League Baseball, NBA basketball, NHL hockey, and college football. I hope you all have a great week. Tune in to the next All Sports with Gerardo show next week. I want to say thank you to everybody that listens to All Sports. Subscribe or like my pages on social media at All Sports with Gerardo. Until next time, this is Gerardo.